Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing, well, it'll hopefully be an interesting video, and that is going to be a ballistic gel test using this AK-74 and this Red Army Standard 59 grain full metal jacket ammunition. Now, as I understand it, could be wrong, but as I understand it, this is basically the same thing as the Golden Tiger ammo that was being imported from the Vimpel factory up in Siberia. So it should be good to go. It's been shooting pretty accurately and pretty consistently out of this rifle, but I want to see what it'll do into some ballistic gel. So just some quick information about the rifle we're going to be using for this test. This is a Riley Defense built AK-74 built on a Bulgarian parts kit. And we're going to be using a Bulgarian non-circle 10, but a Bulgarian slab-sided magazine. And up top here I have the Primary Arms Cyclops, fixed one power prism sight, and that is mounted on a Midwest Industries rail. So what I'll go ahead and do first is get some velocity data through this rifle. So we're going to go ahead and look at that now. We'll see what the average is based on the current ambient temperatures here, and then we'll go ahead and shoot into some gel and see what this ammunition does out of this rifle. 2876. 2906. 2938. 2917. 2873. In order to make sure if the bullet goes through the gel, it impacts safely into the berm, I'm going to have to shoot it from a seated position. Shouldn't cause too many issues for us. So let's go ahead. I have a camera down range. That'll get a slower motion, but let's see what happens. Okay. We got a result that I wasn't quite expecting, but interesting nonetheless. It looks like the round entered the block about where I wanted it to. Then it traveled about 5 inches before clearly having a pretty significant horizontal wound cavity here. So I can tell that it definitely started to tumble. From there, it went into our second block, left a little bit of jacket, and then unfortunately exited our block. So I'm going to try shooting this again to hopefully see if I can get a the round to stay in the gel. That may or may not happen based on how wily this seems to be. That permanent wound cavity is about 6 inches long and about 4-ish inches wide. It went deeper into the block before tumbling than I expected, but we are shooting this thing pretty close. And then once it entered into the second block of gel, there's really nothing else that happened, but it exited the block right around here. So that's a total of 16 inches before exiting our block. So I'm going to try shooting this thing again and see if we can't recover a bullet. All right, let's see if we can't get this thing to stay in our block here. All right. So I'm really glad we shot that second one, and I went ahead and left the gel blocks as they were when I walked up here, and you'll probably already notice that we have a little something right there. But again, I'm kind of glad we shot that second one because it gave us a little bit more results to look at here. But it looks like, again, we entered here more on the right side of the block. Still went about 4.25 inches before starting to tumble. Again, we have a very large wound cavity that goes about the same length. So about 7.5 inches of the the permanent wound cavity. And then it seemed to, it looks like it just started to break this second block before the elasticity of this block kind of pushed it back out. And we have here As you can see, it the round itself got kind of smashed on its way through tumbling. Looks like we probably squeezed out some of the lead core. I don't see it in the block though, so maybe we didn't squeeze out too much. But because I have this projectile, what I'm going to go ahead and do is weigh this when I get home, and then I already have another projectile that I've pulled that I'm going to compare the weight to see what type of weight retention we got. But that is, the round was sitting after going through our 12.5-inch block, so overall penetration, not a lot. The wound cavity itself and the wound trail was a lot more linear. It did not curve off as much. So, I mean, with how much this stuff tumbles, it can be pretty unpredictable what that wound channel is going to look like, but pretty interesting result. So I would say we definitely got some interesting results. Now this is the first time I've shot 5.45 into ballistic gel, but this is only going to be the first of many rounds that I do this to. So I'm going to try to do it with this same gel as long as I can, just to make sure that we are getting consistent results across the same medium, because I don't know how closely calibrated this block is to some of the other blocks out there that I've used in the past or that other people have used. So I want to try to use the same exact medium to test a bunch of different rounds if I can. I was glad that we were able to recover this bullet. It doesn't seem too deformed. It just, flattened out towards the base, which is pretty standard for a lot of the Full Metal Jacket rounds out there. But it'll be interesting to see how this does compared to things like 7 and 6, some of the Hornady SST rounds, and some of the other hollow points and or Full Metal Jackets out there. Again, ran it through this Riley Defense rifle, which was running great. I have a dedicated review on this, and I'll be doing a review of this optic soon. I wanted to run it on an AK before doing a review, and so this is kind of the start of that. If you want to let people know that you think that 5.45 makes you a part of the master race, I have shirts in the link below. This is the sample one I did. I went ahead and changed the font on these darker shirts to white just so it stands out better. So if you're having a hard time reading or seeing the 5.45 mag here, it's been fixed, and those shirts are gonna work out a little bit better for you guys now. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Is that the result you expected to see in the gel, or was that not what you expected? How does this perform compared to some of the other rounds you've tested, and what other 5.45 loadings would you like to see me run through this gel block? Hopefully I'm going to be doing a video series here very soon comparing different intermediate cartridges together, so 5.45, 5.56, 300 blackout, 7.62 by 39, that kind of a thing, both through gel, through barriers, and a bunch of other stuff to see what intermediate cartridge reigns supreme in the different tests. So that should be very interesting. I want to go ahead and thank my patrons for being able to allow me to finance putting together a test like this. Putting together gel blocks is not cheap, nor is it easy, but again, through the support of people on Patreon, I was able to justify doing that. And I post all my videos there early. We do live streams, we do giveaways, we do all sorts of interesting stuff, as well as just me being able to afford doing a lot more things here in video format for you guys. Which I should also say, I'm probably going to do a more in-depth editorialized version of this video on AK files. So I'm going to create a thread on there talking about this, where I show the bullet overall length, what type of powder it's using, and a little bit more of that analysis stuff too as well. So if that's interesting, I should have a link below to the AK files forum that I'm going to start for this round. So I hope you found that informative. I tried to keep this video a little bit shorter than I typically do, so let me know if you guys appreciate that at all, or if you prefer the more longer format stuff. But anyway, with all that said, as always, I hope you got something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.